Hello dear students of class 9th, welcome to economics class. I hope all of you are fit and healthy. Students, in this video, I shall be continuing with the 4th chapter from your economics book, that is Food Security in India. Students, in the previous video, I explained you about the evolution of PDS and advantages of PDS, that is Public Distribution System. I told you that PDS has several advantages, like it helps in stabilizing the prices, it helps in reducing poverty, it helps in reducing hunger and famine. Then minimum support price and procurement have increased in production of food grains. The farmers are very much motivated and encouraged to produce more food grains. So, these are the advantages that I explained you. Now, students, every coin has two faces, right? I am saying again. Now, students, every coin has two faces. One is the positive side and one is the negative side. So, we have already seen the positive side of public distribution system. Now, let me tell you that there are several challenges that public distribution system has to face. So, this is our topic for today, that is challenges faced by public distribution system. Now, students, in this video we will see that what are the challenges that are faced by public distribution system, or you can say the demerits, the limitations of public distribution system. First of all, students, instances of hunger are prevalent despite overflowing granaries. Definitely we have sufficient stock, but there are instances of hunger, instances of poverty, instances of starvation. Even though we have sufficient food grains, still there are people who have to sleep with empty stomach. They are not able to afford 2 or 3 meals a day. So, what is the use of having this stock if we are not able to fill the stomach of every person who is living in our country? So, even though we have sufficient production is also massive because of Green Revolution, and after Green Revolution we have not faced scarcity of food, but still there are people who are not able to avail, who are not able to receive food grains, and because of which they are facing hunger. Our granaries, that means the warehouses, they are completely full, there is sufficient food grains available, but still this condition is prevalent in our country. So, this is the first limitation or the first challenge. Now, let us come to the second challenge, as you can see on the screen. Students, there is a general consensus that high level of buffer stocks of food grains is very undesirable and can be wasteful. Definitely we should keep a sufficient amount, a sufficient stock should be there, but that also has a limit. If we overdo something, if we exceed the limit, then excess of everything becomes bad, right? Even if it is stocks of food grains, because if we are keeping over the stock, then what will happen? Because it requires maintenance also. So, for that a huge cost is incurred, and if the quantity is sufficient, means more than enough, then it will also result in wastage. How it will result in wastage? First of all, the quality will be reduced. If a particular product is kept for a very long time, then the quality will automatically reduce, it will deteriorate. Then because of then there may be rottening, the rats, they might eat the food grains, so it will actually deteriorate the quality of food grains. So, definitely we must maintain buffer stock, but undesirable quantity should not be there. The quantity should be fixed, that only this much has to be kept in the buffer stock. For example, let me tell you that in the year 2014, the stock of wheat and rice with Food Corporation of India was 65.3 million tons, which was much more than the minimum buffer norms. There are some buffer norms that this amount has to be kept, this quantity has to be kept, but in this case the quantity was much more. And you know, the storage of massive the storage of massive stocks has been responsible for high carrying cost. Cost is also incurred for that, right? And not only that, it has also led to wastage and deterioration in grains quality. The quality has also reduced and there has been wastage also. So everything has a limit and we have to maintain that limit. So this is also one limitation or challenge that is faced by public distribution system. Now the next challenge or the next limitation is the procurement of food grains at minimum support price is concentrated in a few prosperous regions. For example, Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh. And you know, and it is mainly of two crops, that is wheat and rice. Now students, if I talk about these prosperous states, these prosperous regions, then the climatic condition of these regions are suitable in order to grow these food grains, in order to grow wheat and rice. The land is fertile, they have proper irrigation facility, water is available in good quantity, in sufficient quantity, and because of these facilities they are able to grow more and more, they are able to increase the production process, and because of which these regions, these states, they are prosperous enough. But if I talk about the other regions like Bihar, Chhattisgarh, then these regions are not able to prosper. Why they are not able to prosper and why they are not able to sell at minimum support price? Because the climatic condition is not fit, they are not having these facilities. So as a result of which there is regional disparity. Disparity is growing. Some states, some regions are becoming more prosperous, while the other states, their condition is still the same. They are not able to get up to that mark. So this results in regional disparities. Some states are getting rich and richer, while the other states, they are getting poor and poorer. So this is also one limitation, that it is causing regional disparity. And if I talk about the cropping pattern, then basically two crops, that is wheat and rice. So these crops are, these food grains are grown, because I am saying again. And if I talk about the cropping pattern, then basically two crops, that is wheat and rice, they are grown. They are grown in abundance, massive production is there. But if I talk about the other crops, then they are not grown to that extent. So what is the use of that? If we have sufficient wheat and rice and we are not having pulses or any other food grain, and we have to depend on some other nation, so that is also not good. So we are actually restricting ourselves to a particular crop or cropping pattern, which is a limitation of public distribution system. Now students, let us move to the next limitation, that is the intensive utilization of water in the cultivation of rice has also led to environmental degradation and fall in the water level. See, if I talk about rice or if I talk about wheat, then they are water intensive crops. They require more water, and since the farmers are getting minimum support price from the government is procuring these food grains from the farmers. So farmers are willing to produce more of these food grains, as a result of which they are using more than the required water. They are overusing the water resources, because of which the water levels have gone down, and it is also depleting the natural resource. It is degrading It is degrading the environment and causing environmental degradation. Alright. Now, let us come to the next demerit or the next limitation. See, the PDS dealers, they are sometimes found resorting to malpractices like diverting the grains to open market. See, if I talk about the dealers, the public distribution system dealers, the dealers who are involved in dealing with the farmers, the dealers who are involved in procuring food grains from the farmers, they are sometimes involved in malpractices, sometimes they are involved in corruption and all. So, what they do? They purchase from the farmers at the minimum support price, but they, instead of supplying to the ration shops, they sell in the market, they sell in the open market, and because of which they get good profit margin. So, this is also an important limitation of public distribution system. So, students, these dealers, they sell food grains at they sell poor quality of food grains at ration shops. Also, there is irregular opening of the shops. You know, sometimes the shop is opened, sometimes the shop is not opened. Timings are keep on fluctuating. Proper times are not there. Proper time slots are not there. People are waiting in queue, but people are not receiving proper quality, good quality food grains because of these malpractices. Also, students, the ration shops, they regularly have unsold stocks of poor quality grains left. See, since these dealers, they are involved in malpractices, they are selling the good quality grains to the open market and selling poor quality grains or giving poor quality grains at ration shops. So, the people who are purchasing, how they will eat that poor quality. So, as a result of which they are not buying those poor quality grains, and as a result of which what happens? The poor quality grains are left, they are just left and they are stored, and wastage of grains are there. So, these are the limitations. Also, students, let me talk about the last limitation related to the cards, the ration cards. As I told you that there are three types of ration cards: Antyodaya cards, BPL cards and APL cards. So, the three types of cards and the range in prices, the range of prices also creates problems. For example, the Antyodaya cards, this is for the poorest of the poor. So, price is also very low, it is very less as compared to the other two. Price is definitely less, but the quality is also very poor. So, those people who are having Antyodaya card, they prefer to buy good quality food grains. So, instead of buying food at that price that is fixed for Antyodaya cards, they are buying the products, they are buying the food grains of APL cards. So, this creates a lot of problem, this creates a lot of confusion because of the quality, as the quality is not good, they prefer to buy good quality, and as a result of which a lot of food grains are wasted, it is kept unnecessarily in the ration shops. So, I hope all the limitations, all the challenges that are faced by public distribution system are clear to everybody. Now, students, let us come to the last topic of this chapter, that is role of cooperatives in food security. That means, what role do the cooperative society plays in food security, in ensuring food security? What is their contribution in food security? But before that, let me explain you the meaning of cooperative society, that what is a cooperative society. See, from the word only you can understand, cooperative means everybody works together, they work in groups. So, basically when the people come together voluntarily to meet their common economic, cultural, economical needs through a jointly owned enterprise, that refers to a cooperative society. For example, Amul, India Coffee House, Karnataka Milk Federation. So these are the examples of cooperative societies. Now students, what role do they play? Why they are so important in providing food security? Students, the cooperative societies, they set up shops to sell low priced goods to poor people. See, goods has to be distributed to poor people, so why not the people themselves distribute? So they set up small shops where low priced goods are kept, and from there goods are distributed or food is distributed to the poor people. You know students, in Tamil Nadu, 94% of the PDS are run by the cooperative societies. That means most of the public distribution system, most of the network, that is run by the cooperative societies. Then if I talk about Delhi, then you know, in Delhi, Mother Dairy is making strides in providing milk and vegetable to the consumers. See, Mother Dairy is also very famous, and this is also a cooperative society. This is an example of cooperative society that is running very successfully in providing milk and vegetables to the consumers. Then if I talk about Amul, it is an ideal example, a suitable example. So Amul is another success story of cooperatives in milk and milk products from Gujarat. So this is running from Gujarat. This is being operated. It was started in Gujarat. So I hope the role of cooperative societies in contributing or in food security is clear to everybody. Now students, let me talk about Maharashtra. You know, in Maharashtra, Academy of Development Science, that is ADS, it has facilitated a network of NGOs for setting up grain banks in different regions. That means to set up grain banks. You have heard about blood bank. Similarly, there is grain bank in which sufficient quantity of food grains can be stored, so those food grains can be supplied to the people who require actually them. So to set up, to store grain banks in those areas. So in Maharashtra, the Academy of Development Sciences is doing this in collaboration with several NGOs. Now, what is the role of, or what is the work of Academy of Development Science, that is ADS? Now students, if I talk about this organization, then this organization organizes trainings and capacity buildings. That means it provides trainings to the people so that the complete system, the complete chain can be smooth, it can be functioned very smoothly, the mechanism can be more effective, right? So for that it is providing trainings. Then it also efforts to set up grain banks with the help of NGOs. As I already told you that with the help of NGOs, it is trying to set up more and more grain banks in Maharashtra and as well as in the other regions too. And lastly, it influences the government policy on food security. See, if only one or two people will speak, or if they want change, they will speak, then they will not be heard. But if a complete group, if a complete organization will want to have some changes, some policy improvements, then that can be done. And so it influences the government policies in relation to food security. So I hope all the points related to cooperatives are clear to everybody. So students, we have come to the end of this chapter. I hope this chapter is well understood by each one of you who is watching this video. So I hope you understood what is food security. Food security is availability, accessibility and affordability of food grains to everybody, to all the people who are living in the country. Everybody should able to get proper food, safe food, nutritious food Then I explain you that who are food insecure, why do we need food security. Then I explained you about the two important components through which food security can be enhanced, it can be functioned efficient, it can, I'm telling again, then I explained you two important components through which food security can be enhanced properly, that is buffer stock and public distribution system. I explained you about buffer stock, that why do we need to keep buffer stock. We need to keep sufficient stock so that in case of any scarcity, that surplus amount, that surplus grains can be used, so that nobody dies of starvation, nobody dies of hunger. Then I explained you about the complete mechanism of public distribution system, and I also told you that public distribution system as well as buffer stock, they are controlled by FCI, that is Food Corporation of India. I told you the advantages of public distribution system. I told you how public distribution system evolved over several years. Then about the limitations of public distribution system, and then about the role of cooperatives in food security. So I hope the chapter is clear to everybody. So students, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening patiently, and do take very good care of yourselves and stay connected. Thank you.